Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and today we are going to be starting on the Great Hall of the Temple, the Temple of the Triumphant Pine, and this is going to be a truly huge hall, some 60 blocks that way and 12 blocks across that way. That means I have a great deal of mining to do before we get started. Here we are at the Hall of the Triumphant Pine, and this I'm going to turn into a ballroom. In the original module, it was a banquet hall that had seen better days, so therefore, I need to know exactly what I'm going to do with this. I figure I'm going to have a dance floor in the middle section between the fire and water temple access ways. Then I'll have eating benches on the sides there. So the first thing I need to do then is to cut out the area for the dance floor. Now the question is, should it be a raised dance floor or a sunken dance floor? I see advantages to each of these, but I think from looks wise the sunken floor would be better. But what I'm going to need here is I'm going to need a lip all the way around, because the idea here is, let's use this point to show you what I'm thinking of, other than having to worry about little drop-offs like that, is I'm going to start here with some brick. By brick, I mean stone brick. Then after that, we'll have a stone stair. Then after the stone stair, we head into spruce slabs. And reason for that is I want a way to make the dance floor non-spawnable, and of course a good dance floor is made of wood. And then of course repeat that pattern on this side. Now the reason why I want this much stone on the edge, despite the fact that I feel I would have preferred it if I had a larger wood area, is simply because we have this leading downstairs to the third level, and I want to be able to have access coming in and out through here. So therefore, I reduced the amount of, stop chopping extra stuff. I reduced the width of the actual dance floor as a result. I think that looks reasonably good. Now, before I go and tear all this out and build the dance floor area, I wanted to show you the new textures here. This is the latest version of the new texture pack by Mojang, and here we're seeing the latest version of the diorite, the granite, and the andesite here. And I think that the three of them blend well together. Now, I've heard some complaints about the andesite not blending so well with stone as it used to, but I think having these three blend together actually works. Now, diorite looks a little bit less like what I traditionally think of like diorite, but I know that some people didn't like that old type of diorite because, let's face it, in the real world, the only thing I ever seen diorite used for was flooring, so therefore, yeah, it does have limited use on the matter. But I think it works well with the granite, and that is something you certainly could have said before. So we'll see how that works and how that affects my building options in the future. And how does it affect this right here, since I used granite for the ceiling there, and actually I think that looks decent on the manner. Looks like the polished granite didn't change all that much. So yes, I think it works. Now, let me head off and finish off this dance floor. Here is the dance floor. I think that looks reasonably good, and we have the stone going all the way around here and also all the way around on the hall itself. I also took the liberty of putting up the ceiling, which is much like the dance floor, being made out of spruce mainly, and I added some lighting there also, as you can see. And I think that goes well with it. Now, as for the walls, I've decided that the dance floor area we are going to have andesite walls, so therefore I put them here. This is of course the stairs, so that'll be a little bit different. So therefore in the middle I'm putting andesite. Now, as for the dining area, I'm going to divide this into 4 areas. And on each of these halves I'm going to have one half going like this, and I have another section going like this. And each of them is going to be dedicated to one of the 4 elements. And since we have the granite coming up here, I'm going to have this area immediately here be the fire area. This area here then will be the air area. And actually, I'll make this the earth area. Then down there could be the water area, and then right over here will be the air area. So one element for each of the 4 sectors of this. And to distinguish them, I am going to be using a carpeting, because I want this to be also serve as my way of reducing the chance of getting spawns coming up all over the place. And I'll also of course be needing seating. So let's start out with a little bit, well, this is going to be water, so that'll be the green carpet, not the red carpet. So let's get this up here. And actually no, I won't need to use the pickaxe. What I'm going to be doing here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 10 here. So the idea is, so what happens if now I'm wondering whether I should have an aisle down in the middle here. Probably actually. I think having an aisle would be a good idea. So therefore for the area where you have the aisle, oops, we don't want to fall down that. We could go back to a little bit of stone brick. Oh yes, over here. Alright, we'll have a little bit of stone brick over here, and that can go down like this. And the idea is that we'll have green carpet. Now, of course, if this were all just a big long line of green carpet, it would not be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that's not right. We wanted this is the point that we need. Alright, there we go. So we want 4 width. Now, if I just went down like this, of course, it would be very non-interesting, especially since it wouldn't be very good seating if there were actually no seats. But this is the idea, is I'm going to put this in the between aisles. But what actually, you'll start out with 1 round of that. Then after that, we are going to have some seating. What I'm going to try to do is, for the seats, we will have a spruce over there. Actually, let me take this off for the moment. Then we now have to worry about the table. And the table is, how am I going to do the table? The idea was to have upside down. What if I actually I want something to be going against. Let me bring this up here. This is just so that I can. Yeah, the idea is that this will look like a table. And then like that. Actually, that might work. Now I think though that the backside of stairs are spawnable. So therefore we will put some end rods here, sort of act as the lighting for it. And that'll work. Now then, we can... Oh! That's what I can do with the carpeting. Ah, there it is. I know that means that the whole thing about the stone brick is unnecessary, because what I do is that the carpeting is what can form the walkways on these areas. Yeah, but then that reduces this down to 3. All these little things you come up with when you do this. Alright, good. And now, and with that then, we put the end rods in the center rather than on the corners. Good. Alright, and that's what I could do for each of the sections. Have a little seating area here, and then a couple of extra pods down here, all the way through for each of the 4 colors. In addition to the carpeting and the tables, I also decided to have the floor under the table to be appropriate for the elements. So therefore I have prismarine for the water. I have diorite for the air. Of course, granite for fire, and dirt for earth. So therefore, something appropriate for each one in that matter. So this is coming along quite well, which means that the one thing that's left now would be to do the walls. As with the floor, each of the 4 wall sections will be slightly different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, take out this stone, and what we're going to do with it then is hopefully not chop out too much of this stuff, right? Alright, there. Yeah. Put this back here. And I'll just get rid of this on here, and then we will replace it with this. Now, I'm going to have the same basic pattern for all 4 of them. It's just, of course, that the stone that I'll be using will be appropriate for each of the 4 sections. In the case of the water area, we are going to have this in 3 sections, and we're going to have each of these sections include a wood post there. Then we are going to have stairs surrounding each of them. Well, I can't have stairs here, but I could use slabs for that. Actually, now that I think of it, I can't use slabs for that because slabs would require a vertical slab. Yeah, and of course we don't have vertical slabs in this game. So, no, scratch the bit about slabs. So it looks like we're not going to have any sort of... I guess that'll have to do. And what I want to do then is put some prismarine brick right here. See how this looks. Well, other than... That's the problem is when you're building around stairs all over the place. Is you go accidentally stepping on top of one and then you step up a little bit. See, this is... I was hoping Uh, I don't like it. Well, it was a thought. Maybe if I just replace it with planks instead of with stairs and see what that looks like. Maybe a little flat, but I think it looks a lot better than this one here. So I'm going to make this one follow in the same way. There we go. Now we just need to do something similar for the other 4 sectors. The air side with the diorite looks fine, as does the prismarine. Now, the granite looks reasonable down over here. The trouble is earth. Coming up with something good for earth is always problematic, and I was thinking maybe using terracotta, but that looks flat, plain, and ugly. And when I call something flat, plain, and ugly, it probably means that it is, because some people probably accuse that of being all my stuff. So therefore, if I think that's the case, then it must really be bad. There you go. So now I have to think of what is the best material to use that'll work there. I think this shows why I was never enamored with the west tunnel that I built for the Nether, because the west tunnel had a earth theme to it, and I had decided to use terracotta for that, and flat terracotta in a case like this just doesn't work, I think. So I'll have to keep that in mind. At least it answers why I didn't like the west tunnel as much as I liked the north and the east. Now, what I decided to do then is just use a darker wood, and I think that works. Alright, good. Because I figure wood is a product of the earth. And let's... Alright, we'll do that for now. No. I don't like that. I will say... where is the axe? The axe is right there. What I'd say is to get rid of this. And go back to that and just do it that way. Now, the question comes... lighting. Because we've got all this light going all around here. Alright, good. But we have a few areas where things are going to get a little bit dodgy. So what I'm thinking of doing is that we will just add a few more lights all around here. Well, some of this stuff is just going to have to just be lost. Good. Anyway, just add some in-rods here to get us some lighting. Good. 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 And then finally, and that way we've got a little extra lighting. I've already done that for some of these other areas. And this is the hall of the Triumphant Pine. Let me adjust the lighting a little bit, and let's see the final result. Oh, hold on. It's not the final result yet because I need banners. Just add a few banners here. And there we go. And we have them for the individual elements along the side of the wall, and for the general flag when we are, here we go, and put this for the side here. And there you go. Good. So all that leaves now is to have everything done with a lighting. But that may take a little time. But overall, I think we've got the look of it done, except for one or two little pieces of torch here that we'll have to get rid of at some point. And there you have it, the Hall of the Triumphant Pine, our banquet slash ballroom that we have for the Temple of the Elemental Pine. And next time, we are going to now expand out here, and I think that we are going to go and I was thinking that next time we will be building the cistern, and what I forgot was that there are a pair of corridors that are supposed to be coming out in this area here, and that those corridors lead into the cistern. Not good, because that means I'm going to have to redo that. That's what we'll have to do, though, in the next episode of Piney Plays Minecraft Welstopia.